Welcome to Your Brand Express podcast. I'm your host, CJ Aline.
And I'm Carl Aline.
And together, we will take you on a journey to where entrepreneurship meets culture and cool.
So get ready to elevate and expand your entrepreneurial spirit as we explore the dynamic and ever-changing landscape of the business world.
So, sit back, relax, and join us as we bring to you the ultimate vibe and help you experience your brand like never before. Let's get it. Woo! What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Your Brand Express podcast. We are back with another episode, and today we have a very, very special guest, Donovan. How you doing?
What's going on, guys? Good
What's
to
going on,
see you. Good to
going
see
on?
you. Good to
You
be
too, man.
here.
How's everything
Yes,
going with you,
indeed.
man?
Everything's going well. Just today's been a busy day. Just a bunch of different things I have to get done. But other than that, I'm happy to be here. So it's a good day. It's a good day.
Third. Awesome. So Donovan, do you think you could tell us a little bit about, who you are and what you do with your business?
Of course. So my name is Donovan Parrish, as TJ mentioned. And basically, I run a funnel building agency where it used to be a paid traffic agency and funnel building, but now we mainly focus on funnel building simply because that's just what we're good at. We know what we're doing, and it's easy for us to automate and scale that.
Awesome. That's dope. And I've been seeing a little, as your boy, I've been seeing a little bit on like Facebook and your website. That's a lot of cool stuff, y'all. Y'all should definitely check what he got going on out. We're going to talk a little bit about that in today's
Appreciate
episode. I think we should get started a little bit with it. So, Dad, you mind asking?
I sure will. But we got to ask another question real quick. So what's the name of your company, though? Like, let us know a little bit about your company, because that name's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the name is Social Plank. I don't remember where exactly I came up with it from. I was just thinking, because originally we started off as a social media agency where we did like Instagram management and things like that. And I just thought of social, and then I thought of plank. And you got to have a sturdy foundation under you. So I just put those two together, and I made some artwork for it, and I liked it. And I ran with it, man. That's just how I did it. So yeah, I've been running that agency now for I'd say about 10 years, 8 to 10 years. And solely as a funnel building agency, I'd say in the past 2 years. But just an agency as a whole is 8 to 10 years now. So it's been great though. I love it. I love what I do. I'm good at it. And I'm just out here trying to help coaches and consultants and course creators. That's just what we do.
Love it. Coaches, consultants, and course creators. Yeah, and people in our audience, it's
correct.
Made up of some of those as well, for sure. And it's definitely a need because, like with what you do with funnels, a lot of people, even though that name has been out there, but a lot of people do not know about funness. So we find it, I think about that, and I think about the name of the company, and just it just reminds me of just what a cool personality as far as, the name and what the services that you bring to your audience, I'm very impressed by that.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Bye.
Yeah. So, and could you share a little bit about your approach when it comes to helping coaches and consultants and, even e-commerce businesses too? Do you serve that audience as well?
So when it comes to e-commerce businesses, we've mainly kind of backed off when it comes to the sole idea of just running ads for them. We still if we're working with e-commerce agencies, it's because we're either working with them or we still have other deals we're trying to do with them. But I'd say we solely stick with the coaching space. Now, when it comes to the coaching space, there's a lot of coaches who do sell digital products, and that works as a digital e-commerce brand. So technically, yes, we still are in the e-commerce space, but we don't go looking for brands that are just like, hey, we're solely e-commerce and we're trying to have someone come in and, run our ads and help us with our product management and things like that. Yeah, we don't really do that anymore.
Got it. But I love it because, some of the people that we spoke to, and even with our podcast, it's either that. It's like, if it's e-commerce, straight e-commerce, But
Yep.
I'm a firm believer, even coming from the artist backgrounds, like, some people do sell some e-commerce products, so
Yeah.
bringing it more of an awareness to that. Even if you have a coaching program, you might have something where you're selling some type of e-commerce product. That's okay.
Yep.
But I've kind of come across people, and there's no knock to them, that it's either this or it's that. But
Yep.
creatively, you can have some of that in there.
Oh
And
yeah.
so
Yeah.
that really intrigues me by what you just said.
Yeah. It's
Love that.
things definitely like to. I notice it's easier to stick to one market as much as I'd love to do both.
Right.
I've noticed that when we focus on two different, some similar markets, things can get a little where people might have to do, like my team will have to do other jobs that
Mm,
they wouldn't necessarily have signed up to do anyways. And I only like to have my team do what they're supposed to do, and they
got
only
it.
like to do what they're good at. So it just makes everything run much easier. So yeah.
Got it. Got it. Okay. Cool. Cool.
That's dope.
Love it.
And even with that, Donovan, like, what are some of the common obstacles you feel like coaches and e-commerce businesses even face when it comes to, leading their business and overcoming the challenges?
I think that's a good question. I think it comes down to the ability to understand that their automation system is better than them. And a lot of coaches, they struggle to, I say that with respect, but they struggle to understand the idea of, hey, if I can figure out how to put myself into my process and then have my process automate what I do, that process will run better than me. It will run 24/7. It will learn better than me, it knows more about my clients. And once they come to that understanding, it's much easier for them to scale.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah. People be sleeping on automation, man. I think
Oh, yeah.
it's
Yeah.
definitely and anything too. We're living in a
Hmm.
day now where a lot of
Yeah.
the stuff that we can do, like with our
Hmm.
businesses, can be automated. And us as people, we like to think we're machines.
Yeah.
But I think just having the willingness to try out automation and like you said, that was probably the best way I've heard it explained. Just putting yourself
Hmm.
in it, and then the automation does the rest. So that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm a fan of automation. I love automation. I think about that sometimes as a team. Like, wow, you can
Yeah.
multiply yourself with automation. Yay.
Absolutely. The easiest, I wouldn't say the easiest way to scale, but it's the most efficient way to scale for sure. Yeah. Love
Mm,
it.
love that. Now, Donovan, how do you set your company apart in terms of, building funnels with advertising? Funnels, that's that word.
I'd say, yeah, I'd say competitive edge. Our funnels aren't cookie cutter. They're not, one size fits all because every coach, every consultant, every course creator, yes, the idea of their business is the same, but at the end of the day, the way they go about running their business is totally different. A life coach is
Mm,
different from a fitness coach. A fitness
right.
coach is different from a marriage coach. And all of these coaches, yes, the goal is for them to sell, 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 and to provide a world class product, and then to sell that product and hopefully automate the product. Where we come in and we make things different is we take what's worked for our past clients, that framework of a funnel, and then we build off that. So if I've worked with a past life coach where we've gotten great results, I come in with a new life coach and I say, okay, well, this is what worked for our last life coach that we've worked with. These are some of the good results. What we're going to do now is we're not going to take the same funnel and just implement all of your data in there and then just kind of copy and paste. What we do is we use exactly what makes your brand work, because bottom line is you built the business. You know what works. You know what colors have worked, or because it comes down to psychology, it comes down to copy, it comes down to the creative, the pictures that you use. And what we do is we build around that using the structure that we've already built, and we say, okay, great. This is what's worked. This is what hasn't worked, and we basically build you a fully customized funnel. And a lot of agencies in today's funnel community is they simply like to copy and paste. And I wouldn't say there's nothing inherently wrong with that, but it
Right.
then comes down to, are you just trying to copy and paste to get more clients and kind of just push out
Mm,
work? And then
right.
everybody's funnels look the same because I've seen that. Or are you trying to build, as we say, the world class product? And the more product you sell,
Right.
the more people will say like, okay, well, yeah, this is different from this funnel. This is different from this funnel. And that helps us just grow. So
Right.
Right. And so you all care. You're not saying others don't care, but
yeah,
it sounds like you put that care into what that specific customer
yeah,
needs,
mhm,
and you're trying to amplify what they do, amplify their brand, amplify the whole experience that they bring, which
correct,
is
correct.
huge, especially for the fact that a lot of these markets is getting more and more saturated. It's just going to happen, and
Yep,
it is happening. So
absolutely.
that specific detail is so important. Yeah,
Yeah.
kudos to you
Hmm.
guys.
Thank you. I appreciate that. So yeah, I mean, with that idea of the, we customize our funnels. I'd say on top of that is just data driven. We don't like to play a guessing game with our clients
Mm,
because when they come in and they see our pricing model, we make sure it makes sense. I don't just come up with prices just to come up with prices. I come up
yeah.
with prices and I explain why it's this price. And if the client says something as, oh, well, this is too expensive, or this is this and this is that. I don't just say, well, that's why. It's just expensive because we're good at what we do. And you can see the
Mm,
results. What we do is we say, okay, well, this is why it costs this much. And then we break it down because it needs to make sense.
right.
If I'm in order to gonna sell it to that client, it has to make sense because then they come back and they go to sleep at night and they're thinking, oh, this doesn't make sense. I still feel a little on edge. Did I operate off impulse and just buy this funnel because it
Mm,
made it sound good? I want them to go to bed feeling good. I want them to wake up feeling good because it's an emotional journey dealing with clients. They start off really excited or really cautious, and
right.
it's like this little mountain. They go up, they go down, and once they start to see the results, things look good. When we're at like
Right.
a stalemate and we're trying to push through and what needs to happen in the sales system, then it just comes down to simple things as, okay, yep, we saw the results. We need to stay on the train and we need to, work the machine. So yeah, we
Mm,
definitely, we have a lot of different things that separate us from our competitors. That's for sure.
Word.
love that. Love that. It's powerful.
That's dope. I think, yeah, I think in business it's important to stand out from the other ones so that you can get like
Yeah.
the clicks. And I like how you kind of you tell them the why you do, because some people just
Hmm.
won't understand why this is this
Yeah.
much, and some people will have
Right.
issues with it. But I think when you can explain the why and show the worth, the reason why
Yeah.
it's worth this much, it definitely helps other people to see like, okay, like he's trustworthy.
Yeah.
Right.
Definitely.
And with the psychology too, it's like you're breaking that. We think about, the psychology when helping a client, you want to get help help people navigate through the roadblocks. But from what I'm hearing from what you mentioned too, yeah, you do that, but also let's keep it real, those roadblocks come back.
Oh yeah.
And
All the
then so
time.
you're able to
Hmm.
continually knock them. And then when you mention it's a journey, it's an emotional journey with
Yeah.
clients, you're able to help them to keep coming back to those roadblocks and smashing them,
Yeah.
which is so important, and that
Absolutely.
when I think about it, that's one of the things that can help you have reoccurring customers. Those customers come back
Oh
to
yeah.
the service that you bring.
Yep,
Love
Hmm.
it.
that's dope, man.
Yeah, definitely. Appreciate it.
Yo, Donovan, do you think you could share with us a little like a success story that you've had, with some of these things you shared, and like how, your results helped other people achieve their goals?
Yeah, so just off the top of my head, I could think of one client where that was kind of my breakthrough dream client. So it took me about 4 or 5 years to really get that dream client. And a lot of people oftentimes assume it just happens overnight, or you could be
Well,
super ambitious, super smart, super, everything. And it oftentimes it's just time that you need.
Yeah.
And so I had that time, fortunately. And I worked and worked and worked. I hated getting up in the morning, figuring out, like, oh, I gotta repeat because, it gets tedious at a certain point and you feel like you're just doing so much and you're not getting that dream client that you want. And so I just continued to do what worked for me. Continued to do what got us near clients, got us to work with clients. And then I finally landed my dream client. And what happened with that was my dream client, she had been in, and it was the best possible client that I could have gotten at that time. They had been on shows like Dr. Phil, The Today Show, TED Talk, or I'm sorry, TEDx, um, and Vogue. She was in Vogue magazine for coaching a couple that was a celebrity couple, and that was very impressive. And that was my. It's funny because the clients that would accept my offer for my highest package were usually clients who they've already dealt with funnels. Like they know the lingo. They know, if you're trying to use just big words just to sell them, and they can separate the real from the fake. And based off our offers and our experiences that we've had with past clients, it was kind of an easy deal to get her. It was a 2 call close. And I was impressed because with other clients, it's oftentimes, 2 calls and then the emotional side, which is understandable, but it comes out and it's, well, what about this competitor? What about this person? And I kind of have to battle through that. So for me, my most successful day with that client, we had a $10,000 day. And that was them paying my company 10,000. And when I first signed that client, I thought it was going to be peaches and rainbows, and we were just going to do what worked before, and it wasn't anything like that. It was more of just there was so many different because she had such a big platform. We had to work through so many different new obstacles we never had faced. So it motivated me though to see different little potholes in my business that I might need to patch up. Different things where it came to communication or it came to creativity and product efficiency to make sure everything was selling properly and working properly. But that definitely, as I had that, it inspired some of my friends who are also entrepreneurs who maybe just strictly do e-commerce or they run e-commerce brands themselves, and it definitely motivated them to continue to fight through it and know that these things work. It just takes time, it takes effort, it takes I'm a man of God myself, so it just takes bringing all your issues to God before him and just all things like that. So yeah, that was big for me.
100%. That's fire, man. Story.
I appreciate that.
Yeah. No, I appreciate that. That's powerful, man. Being able, it's a journey. It's one thing I talked to one of my other partners, Monty, about is how everything we're doing, even with what we're doing, but also what we're doing for our clients, but we're not just doing it for them, we're doing it with them. And it's such a journey to be on, and a lot of people don't think about that. They think it's just a simple exchange. That's it. And you're done. No, you are sacrificing some of your time. And, like you mentioned, man of God, you got to pray about this stuff. I know it's not this stuff we pray about, and that's what I think about, even what you mentioned, like this is a journey for them and for you, and for your company and everyone, you're the folks you work with work for you, so
definitely.
Oof.
Yeah. I think it's dope to hear even your story about like you're chipping at it for like 4 years to find this like dream client. And I think that's what a lot of business is. It's a lot of working, repetitiveness, and sometimes you don't see the results you're looking for months, years, and the thought of overnight success isn't exactly. It's just not true. It does take a lot of. That's what it looks like to everybody else analytically. What you display, but it's nothing like that. It's definitely inspiring to hear the fact that you chipped at it for years and years, even without the results you're looking for, and then it finally came. That's
right.
That's hope, man.
And then also with the dream client, it's like sometimes you think, oh, I got my dream client. That's it. Woohoo! Yes, that's it. Let's go off to the races, or let's go off to the sunset. But like when you said that, I was thinking that, to be honest, to keep it real with you. But you're like, no, I thought it would be that, but it was more to it. There was success at it, but there was more to it where there was more of an emotional investment in it as well. But we needed to make sure we saw it through. And so for those thinking, hey, I'm gonna get my dream client, my ideal customer, and that's it. We're going off to the into the sunset. But you never know what you're gonna get. So just hearing your resilience to see things through says a lot about you as well.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Definitely true on the resilient part. It's hard. The more clients, the more dream clients you get, things just get. Like I said, I thought it was gonna be peaches and rainbows, and things got more stressful. Because sometimes hitting your first dream client, like I said, you don't know all the little operations you should have in place, but it's a good growth moment. Because you're able to build on that, and you're able to see, okay, what could we have done better? What could we change for next time? And and asking the client, hey, where do you feel like we could improve? Because a lot of agencies is afraid to do that. They want to just be, hey, we know it all. We know what we're doing. We're the experts. Yeah, we are the
Right.
experts when it comes to our field. But if the client says, hey, brand wise, because we're focused on their brand, but not as much as the client should be. And we're just here to grow the brand, and they feed us the information, and we make that information sell. So yeah.
Right. Right. And that's important what you mentioned, because a lot, some people too, it's just like, listen to me, do exactly as I say.
Yeah.
And that's it. That's all, and it's like
Hmm.
the clients are in a position where they feel like they got to follow because they just want to get their stuff out there and they want to
Yeah.
win. They want to see it successful. But when you get someone who can empathize with what you're going through, empathize with the different stages of your processes and be able to see you through that's needed. That's
Hmm.
needed. So,
Yeah. Absolutely.
yeah. So Donovan, how does like your expertise like specifically benefit coaching businesses looking to grow their customer base and their
Yeah.
revenue?
So it comes down to a couple of factors. The ones I think are that could answer your question best is, like I said, the just customizing the funnel process.
Hmm.
Um, they need something that makes their customers click. I'm not saying like there's so many different coaches out there. Like let's just use um, oh man, I can't think of the guy's name, but or let's just use Dave Ramsey, for example. He's a great financial coach.
Right.
And a client can't come to me that's a financial coach and say, hey, I want my funnel to look like Dave Ramsey. What is more important is, hey, I want my brand identity to come off as great Dave Ramsey does. And because if we try to replicate what Dave Ramsey does, it's not going to work. Because then people are going to say, well, I'm not really, especially when you run ads, there's a lot of different uh, systems that go through your ads. Like if you have all the things that are the same and they just line up, a lot of people will notice that and they'll feel, well, I'm getting the same like vibe or feelings that I would get at Dave Ramsey. Why don't I just pay a little more and pay him? So that's where customization is key because you have to set yourself apart from the market. And like I said, data driven. A client doesn't care if I have beautiful pictures, an amazing website. They care if what we do actually works and will it
Mm.
work for them? Because
Right.
it comes down to explaining, really being patient with your client, but also being firm and letting them know that this is what we do, this is what we can do for you, and we're not going to alter from that. And that's where it comes in for clients as well. They need to also be very humble and say, hey, we don't know. That's why we're here on this call now. So you guys can show us what you think we can grow in. So like I said before, it
Mm.
goes back and forth on both sides. Now, when it comes
Right.
to conversions and making them actual money, the funnel it depends how you set it up. What's the client's goal? Are they selling, like I mentioned before, are they selling a course? Are they just going for signups right now? Are they going straight for conversions, which I never recommend? Because that's just a bad idea. Are they going for webinar views or video views? It's all about with a funnel. There's so many different tiers. There's tiers of like bringing the client in, getting the client to whatever offer, ebook, free guide that we're trying to sell, and then getting them to something that says, hey, are you ready to buy, or does this person need more from you to buy? Do they need to see client testimonials or client testimonial videos? And so it's about knowing what the client needs, because anyone can promise a client. Let's say someone's made a client, perfect example. We made a client a couple $100,000 before in revenue based on they were just simply trying to get webinar signups. And what we did is we told them no. And they've made multiple six figures before doing webinar signups. And we said that's just not the right idea. And they looked at us crazy. And the reason why we told them that is because we didn't say webinar signups was a bad idea in of itself, but you're leaving so much more money on the table instead of you going in personally. Let's say the guy's name was Jack. And let's say Jack, instead of you going in personally and trying to sell your clients, you need to automate that process of selling so that way you can focus on your actual brand identity. let us focus on getting those clients who are cold, once they visit your funnel, getting them qualified, because that's the issue is so much time is wasted on qualifying prospects of, hey, like, let's get on a meeting, let's see if you're a good fit. You don't need to do that. Your funnel will see if they're a good fit. You know, it will take them through step 1, step 2, step 3. And by step 3, they'll be able to know the prospect, is this for me or is this not for me? And that by the time they hop on a call, they're either ready to buy or they're like 50% there and they just have maybe a couple of questions that you can answer. Maybe have your FAQ answer that, you know? That's the whole point of a funnel, is to remove yourself from the selling process. Let your funnel automate that process for you so you can focus on things like, you know, getting meetings with other coaches, doing interviews, doing podcasts, doing TV shows, or, you know, different little things, or
Right.
yeah, just things like that. And it just has to be automated because you're doing so much of the work yourself. You're not able to take the time to actually look at the little specifics and see, okay, is this working? Is this not working? And then it comes down to, and I'll keep this point a little more short because there's nothing more you can really say on this besides landing pages. So we do a lot of A/B testing, and simply what that means is we'll create a landing page for our client, and we'll create another landing page that is almost identical. But like I said, where the psychology comes into play is, hey, do we start the testimonials at the top of the page? Do we start them at the bottom of the page? Is it more helpful for the client to say, hey, okay, this works? Like, I want to see, as soon as I visit their funnel, I want to see testimonials. Or is it, I need a little more information. Let me see their video they have here. And then let me click the button that says learn more about this. And some people don't need to see testimonials. So sometimes that extra space is just, it just prolongs and it distracts. And so that's why we A/B test. We see what's the click-through rate through their ads, and let's see what was the most clicked areas, because we have a lot of tools. And like I said, I could go on forever on just the little tools, but one of our tools that we use that separate us is we have a hot tab tool, meaning we can see on our funnel website where clients and prospects click the most. Are they going straight to the buttons? Are they going straight to the videos? And it's called like a heat map tool. And so it just lets us see exactly where our clients are going. So it takes the guesswork right out of what we're trying to do.
Right. That's good. I mean, all that you said was great, man. You know, and one of the biggest things I heard too was like, even when you mention, hey, like I could be a client come to you and say, yeah, I want this to look exactly like this specific coach.
Yeah.
And that's, I want this car. I want it's, but your role is to look under the hood, but also, hey, this is what you're working with. How can you create the feeling of the ride, so to speak, which is super important, like that brand feeling. You know, it's funny, I was speaking to someone about the whole idea about that earlier, about a course.
Yeah.
You want to create the feeling because people will remember that.
Yeah.
You know, but just that one thing that's on the outward thing, yeah, it's important too, but not as important, if that makes sense.
Yep. No, that makes a lot of
You know?
sense. It makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. It's just so important, but it's just hard. That's a hard thing to do with what we do with businesses, but it's so important, you know. So that's good. That's great that you guys are that meticulous where you're able to stand your ground with having that conviction when it comes to that.
Thank you. Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
Right.
Company culture is huge for us.
Company culture.
Oh yeah.
You got to. I think about that too. Company culture, and it's like I don't even know how to word it, but it's company culture, but also how you communicate to your audience, to your client culture too. That's so important. I don't have a word for it, but that's so important. I think about that stuff too because a lot of if it's businesses, leadership, it's hard for people to do when it comes to that type of communication, but it's one of the very things that builds and makes the relationship, the exchange, so much better.
Absolutely.
So yeah,
that's fire.
100%.
I heard you mention kind of just about even with your website and funnel, how you know, the idea of it is to, you know, have basically what I got from it was like the quality of it and kind of like because we can focus a lot on like how it looks, but like the quality is super important
Oh
of what
yeah.
we're trying to sell. You know what I'm saying? Because
Hmm.
you can't decorate all that and then not have something to
Yeah.
sell. So question I
Yeah.
have is just what how does your service allow business owners and coaches to focus on serving their clients? Because that's the main goal when it comes to the funds.
Yeah. So, the cosmetics of a funnel that's just a small, I won't say it's the small part when you're looking at the grand project. And
Mm.
when it comes to how does it actually work for the client, we look at, okay, what's worked for them in the past? How have they sold their product? Is it through webinars? Is it through YouTube videos? Is it through emails, text blasts? Just different things like that, or even live events.
Yeah.
And once we figure out what made their clients tick, what brought the most prospects in, we figure out, okay, how can we automate this digitally? And then that's when we look at, okay, how can we get more people in through their webinars, through their YouTube videos, get them more views? And that's where the ads come in. So like I mentioned earlier, I do run ads for our coaching clients, but we don't solely do them for e-commerce. So when it comes to coaching, we say things like, okay, well, we need to figure out what ad copy, what words are the best when it comes to putting them on our ads. And I'm not the ad expert, that's for sure. My guy Ed is my media buyer, so he's definitely the expert when it comes to the ads. But just off the top of my head, for like creatives, like what pictures, what images do we need to use? Do we want to start off with picture ads, which are cheaper than video ads? And just basically taking that process, finding that golden nugget, and then learning how to replicate that, and then creating things like lookalike audiences. So if we find a golden audience that works when we're running ads, like, okay, let's say our cost per click is really good over here, and we want to basically replicate that and then say, okay, great, let's create a lookalike audience, and then basically take that audience and maybe add another interest, because Facebook allows you to add interest to your ads. So we'll add another interest saying we start off in like USA, or maybe now we're doing like the UK, and or maybe an interest of I'm sorry, not interest, geographical places, but interest as in like, oh, we'll probably use someone like Dave Ramsey if it's a financial coach, or if it's a fitness coach, we'll probably use one of the best known fitness coaches. And just little things like that is what coaches are looking for, because realistically, they may love selling, but they're tired of selling. And they just
Mm.
want a machine to basically operate that for them, but they don't necessarily understand what the machine is. And that's our job, is to show them what this machine is, what it does, how can it work for you, how can it solve your problems, and then that's where we come in and just basically do that for them.
Got you.
Mm.
That's fine.
Yeah. And that's great. You know, I mean, and a lot of coaches too, you know, don't love selling. I'm a coach too. I don't love selling. You know,
Yeah, yeah.
if that's just my perspective on that, we have to do a lot more, in my opinion, inner work to look at it and reframe it in a different
Mm-hmm.
way. You
Oh yeah.
know, when you guys come in with what you do, that's powerful that you're able to help, and it's just whew, less pressure, something
Oh
less to
yeah.
think about.
Right.
So.
Mm-hmm.
Um, what advice would you give to business owners and coaches seeking like effective marketing solutions? And how does your company address these considerations?
So effective marketing solutions. Are you referring to like businesses who are saying, how can we create our own product to push to the market? Is that?
Yeah, because like coaches
Mhm.
that I think about, even for me as a coach, I want to have my own courses. I want it to be my signature thing. Where
Mhm.
some they might want to do an affiliate or something like that. But I know for someone like me, I want to have my own brand out there and create my own courses and give my own digital
Mhm.
information, for example.
Yeah, I think the best way to start with that is find out which companies, like for example, my company, we also do consultation. So if
Mm,
a client is saying, hey, if they're just on the fence, I might not do the consultation. I may let Ed do the consultation, because I'm trying to focus on the clients that are actually ready to buy, and they just need that
mm.
extra, push. But we definitely do consultations. I know other brands may do consultation, But the thing that like a coach or a, consultant may want to, take a deeper look into is, look at the agencies that work. And because we look at agencies that work, we look at, oh, wow, this agency's doing a better job than I am. What can I do to, separate myself from them? We want to look like them, but also separate ourselves from them.
Yep.
And that's just the best way to actually grow. And coaches need to do the same, not just with coaches, but if they're looking to bring on an agency to do work for them, they need to look at agencies and say, hey, okay, what does this agency do that's different from this agency? And if once you find one that you like, definitely ask, hey, can we get a consultation? Can we sit down for a discovery call and see what you guys actually do and see if it's a good fit for us? And some agencies won't have to sit down with you because you'll get a consultation ad pop up, probably from us. And it will be, hey, are you looking to grow your coaching business or things like that? And it's, hey, book a discovery call and we can talk about it. And I think that's just the best way for a coach to say, hey, like, this is what we want. Can you guys help us with this? And we come in and say, yeah, we can help you with this, but we can do a lot more. So absolutely.
Right.
Well, that's super helpful.
Oh, my bad.
Go for it, buddy.
Oh, I was gonna say, I like what you said about kind of like, I guess, like imitating, kind of like in inspiration, because I think there's nothing wrong with inspiration. Inspiration is great.
Oh, yeah.
Focus on like being a carbon copy of somebody, and you don't, you want to make yourself unique and keep true to yourself. But I think it's always great to take people you're inspired by and kind of take some of the things that work and kind of take some of the things that you're inspired by and that might influence you to take what you do to the next step, and kind of gelling it into your own. I think that's part of the process of becoming who you are and in your business becoming what it is. Just having inspirations, kind of gelling it all together to make this like big piece what it is.
Absolutely. There's no need to reinvent the wheel. I always say that when we're trying to work with a new client, we'll just look at what works. And if that's something that we do, we have a way to replicate that, but make it our own using the data that works, using the data from the client. Because like I said, because that's the biggest flaw that I see a lot of agencies do. They try to reinvent the wheel, create this thing that doesn't exist. And it takes so much time away from what they should be doing. There's the good things to do, and then there's the right thing to do. And creating, it can work. You can create something great. I'm nothing against that. But I think if someone's trying to get their foot in the door, they just started, the best way to do that is don't reinvent the wheel. Focus on what works for others, and then replicate that in your business, but make it your own. So,
yeah. Good stuff.
Well put, man. Donovan, it was great having you on, man. Thank you. So this is a long time coming. This has been in the works.
Oh, man.
And I'm excited that we're here, man. And so thank you so much for joining us. Now, if someone wants to find you online, and what's the Social Plank about? That's a cool name. That's a cool name, but I need these services for my business. Where can one find you?
So one can find us at www.socialplank.com. And basically, you'll immediately go to our funnel page because that's the first page that will pop up. And you'll be able to see our work. You'll be able to see our testimonials. You'll be able to see exactly what we do. And you'll be able to see a booking link. So you can literally book us from our website, book a consultation. And if you even reach out through email and you put funnel, I'll reach out to you myself and we can talk one-on-one. So if you're looking for a consultation, great. Click the link in button. And if you're actually looking for a more advanced consultation and you're actually, hey, I need a funnel, I'm ready to do this, just send me an email with the subject line funnel and I'll get back to you myself. And me and you can talk personally. But I'd say, just look at our Instagram, Social Plank, or our other Instagram, Social Plank Marketing. We have 2 different pages, do the same thing, just more outreach. But other than that, that's where you can find us.
Awesome,
Love it. Thank you, brother. Great
Thank
having
you guys
on
for
board.
having me.
Yeah,
good
totally.
To be here, that's for sure. It's been a long time coming. So yeah.
We made it happen.
100%.
CJ, you want to say the famous words?
There you have it.
There you have it, man. There you have it.
Thank you so much for tuning into today's episode.
And if you haven't already, please be so kind and give us a 5-star review on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. And we'll see you soon.
Peace.